Good morning, guys. I just got home and I have something really important to do, but I can't remember what it is. So I figured I would just do an update until it comes back to me. So lucky for you guys, let's talk about my Bitcoin thoughts. Starting out on the daily, I don't really have any thoughts. I still think that price needs to meet, oh, not price, these two EMAs need to eventually meet, and then price needs to give us a hint once it gets there of what it wants to do. So, you know, whilst you're under the 200 EMA, you are macro bearish, but you are waiting for retest, and the retest at this point in time would be around 85.5. So yeah, that's what we're waiting for on the daily time frame. The shorts are still at 88. Maybe it would take a while to get there. Obviously, it would take out all this leverage if it did. And it would also give time for that 50 EMA to catch up to the 200. So pretty much that whole zone is our area of interest. If we get hints on a lower time frame of a move to the upside, that's going to be our first area of interest. But if we can break through it eventually, it's possible that, look, once it's through these hard times, all this liquidity is up here. I don't personally think if we break through that we're going to go up into a new all-time high, but I think it's possible that we come anywhere from this area. Well, would it be? Let me actually double check where that is now because I marked that quite some time ago and it might be different now. Okay, so it's yeah, all right. It's lower. So let me just readjust this. Okay, so yeah, 95 to this kind of 99. That's, I was talking to another trader today and we sort of have a similar target. If we can get through these hard times and we do start this temporary rally, it kind of makes sense to us that if we can get up here into the 95 to 99K region, that is where people will turn ultra bullish again because it's now creating higher highs, and it would really suck people in because it would be getting very close to the 100K level, which would have people believe that if we can get to 100, we can get to the all-time high, we can then get beyond that. And that would, turn people super bullish. Then we get our turnaround, and that's when we eventually go down to see the final kind of lower low area that we've got our eyes on. Obviously, that's going to take a lot of time, but it also may not happen because right now we're still under the 200 EMA. So that's sort of a long-term picture pending us getting back above the EMAs and getting back above this 85 to 88K region first. So then that means as day trades, again, we're looking for longs in this area, but we're looking for longs at the best price possible. Or if there's more clearer rejections under the 200 EMA, between that and the 88, that's when we would start looking for day trade shorts again. So now when I go to the 4 hour, I still am waiting for the 4 hour W, or it doesn't even really have to be a W. I have to be open to other things happening because we do have these higher highs. Oh, I should say there was a conversation last night about how the old masterclasses used to not have the colored candles. And I made a comment that I actually prefer it that way because when you have your colored candles, it can get you into a bad habit of not checking the volume. So this is how I actually used to always trade the TBD system, and I don't only have the colored candles in my volume bar. So yeah, if you're seeing just the black and white on my chart, I've changed back to that because it does set a good habit. So if you're someone who's struggling with your levels count, maybe try this. It's definitely a lot more challenging, but it does force you to open up the volume bar and count your levels correctly because the levels should be counted according to volume, not just according to a candle being a different color. So anyway, that's why mine are like that if you're wondering what the hell's wrong with her candles. Um, so yeah, with the 4 hour, I'm really open to any um reversal pattern happening. Now I have started scaling in some long positions. I did say in the Capital Club before the weekend that I was going to be laddering in some long positions in this range over the weekend, and I did do that. So I'm still there and I'm still like kind of waiting. Like if we come down lower and take out some of this liquidity, I'll still have the same plan and I will exit that plan if we start to break into this wick down here. But as long as we stay away from this wick, I'm happy to kind of ladder in longs because I think there's a good chance that if we break out, it might happen fast eventually. And the reason I think that is because, especially today, it's been really slow. So this is my first time coming back to the chart today after doing my update yesterday. And that means like I've missed all of Asia and I'm almost at the end of the UK session. So for me to come back and see that Asia and UK have not really done much, that my first thought is why would that be? What could be coming up that would cause the market to sit still because the market is waiting? And so when you have a look at the news events, it makes perfect sense why we're pretty still. Like Wednesday is an epic day. Like we've got the Bank of Japan policy rate on the same day. Well, in Dubai time, it's the same day. On the same day as we get the FOMC. Like that's kind of a little bit crazy. And then the next day will be a bank holiday in Japan. So yeah, I don't know. This is what I would imagine the market is waiting for. And that might make today and tomorrow potentially boring. So I'm very, very interested to see if US makes a move today. I'm definitely going to be around for that session open because if US doesn't do anything, then it's going to add to my reasoning that maybe we're sitting still because of the news events on Wednesday. And I will still continue to ladder in longs for as long as price doesn't return to this wick. I'm just willing to take a chance on that because, you know, there's a good chance that one of these news events surprises us. You know, it's pretty big. So yeah, that's my feeling there on the 4 hour. Nothing else really to say there. So then on the 1 hour, you know, it's kind of easy to identify the false move week beginning. Really, this was a double-sided false move if you think about it, because you've got the weekend trap or the weekend consolidation here. 1 second. And then we broke to the downside, which would have liquidated longs. And then we came straight up fast to the upside, which liquidated shorts. That's a double-sided. So it's just a market wipeout for any weekend traders. Yeah, so now you wait for the real trend. At this point in time, it's a lower high. So that trend might be bearish. But remembering the lower the time frame that we go, the smaller the move that we expect. So a 1 hour or a 15-minute looking bearish could still just end up being the inside right side of a 4-hour W. So I'm fine with that. And that's why I'm still open to laddering in longs if today and tomorrow is bearish, again, providing it doesn't enter my wick zone. So also in addition to that, you know, nothing's changed on the heat maps. So, you know, I'm sticking to my plan for that reason. And when I have a look at the rest of the market today, you know, this NASDAQ W, which I pointed out yesterday on YouTube, it seems to be like it's almost at the point of confirming. So price has moved up a little bit more into the center peak of that W right there. So that's, you know, it's looking potentially good. Okay, I want to monitor this to cross the 50 EMA. And again, remembering crypto front runs most of the time, it usually front runs the rest of the market. So again, just why I'm taking a chance on laddering longs, because this looks like it wants to break to the upside. Now, could it go up to the 50 and reject? Yes. And that is why I'm monitoring it closely, because if that happens, then I will be closing out those long positions. I've also opened long positions on the NASDAQ and the S&P. You know, might turn out to be short-term positions, we'll see. And then when I look at the S&P, it's the same thing. It's just a bit lagging behind the NASDAQ. And that also is another reason why I'm willing to take a risk here, because the NASDAQ is more tech stocks and traditional investors consider Bitcoin to be a tech stock, right? So if the NASDAQ is giving me the W formation before the S&P, then without me knowing anything, like without me studying what people are putting money into in the stock market, I can almost make the assumption that probably tech stocks are recovering quite well at the moment. And that will roll over into Bitcoin. So yeah, the fact that I'm seeing the W on the NASDAQ before S&P is just adding to me being a little bit more positive. And just remember, all of this right now is just me short-term positive. It's not me saying all-time highs, but it's where I think that if we do get a pivot, it's going to be the next best trade rather than continuing to look for shorts. So, if just waiting for this to again just continue up, get past the 50 EMA, create higher lows or retest the EMA support after that. It's got a lot of work to do, 4-hour time frame, but so far so good. It looks like it's in the process of putting in its support for now. And again, that's why I'm willing to take the risk. Dixie's coming down, so that's nice. If we move back into this negative correlation, again, that might give us that short-term rally, into the high 80s, and then beyond that, if we can get that into the mid to high 90s, and then we reassess, that's going to be our time to say, like, okay, is this the lower high that begins the bear market, and therefore we should exit everything that we have in crypto? It's our last chance. Or are we going to new all-time highs from that, that period in time? So that's basically my update. I wanted to just, get this out before the team have their session opens, and also to trigger my memory on what else I have to do, which now I've remembered. So I'm out. Have a good day.